Then my question to you is: do you really believe that Donald Trump or Boris Johnson or any of the other populist leaders
Okay,
really have
yeah,
the best
and
interests of the world?
this kind of globalization, I do not support him. I support his uh, policy, try to doing business fair way, fair way, balancing among China and America. China stealing technology. China just protect their own industry, or their subsidy to their national company. This is, I think, Trump attack China. This is true, but
Mm.
he's kind of, I think he's a very clever person. But I don't know how come he tried to doing China trade war, tried to big tariff on China product, and also he tried to eliminate Huawei's product. This is, I think, completely I can support him, and also I can support him how try to avoid immigration from Central America. But this is not solution. Okay, just globalization is no solution. Also, Trump maybe he does not know IT. Okay, IT revolution.
Mm.
This will going to come in soon. And for example, good example is 5G. America is delaying 5 years from China or Huawei, but he does not recognize it. Okay, if that current situation going on, America, California's IT industry will disappear next 5 years if they don't cooperate with Huawei, right? So
Mm.
sort of things I don't support him, and he is I think his attitude for like how to solve North Korea or China, but not Iran. Iran is he is too much pure-hearted. He tried to force them to eliminate everything, like developing long-distance missile, not only the nuclear power, but
Mm.
also everything. He forced them to open their country. And if we're going to understand their conservative, Khamenei instead of Rouhani, so that country is not easy to settle the issue. Like China is the same. China is a communist party. It's not easy to open their country. It takes time to solve the issue. But fundamentally, his thinking approach is true. Okay, we do not consider for kind of segregation way, or we don't consider for uh, protect their own country by themselves. So Trump tried to avoid those, and also Trump support Taiwan. This is true. He's
Mm.
pure heart, pure mind. But what his action for the like China trade war or like immigration is completely wrong. He does not know how to solve the issue. If this current situation going on, American economy will get the big damage. And immigration itself, in their history, immigration supported that country's growth, right? So too extreme, his action is.
Right.
I tell you, and I tell the truth, I don't like him. I don't like him to be the position of president. But some portion is terribly good, some portion terribly bad.
Mm.
Extreme, what his action is.
So
Why
what
he
what what?
supported? Why he supported is a lot of people is believing his action will going to be effective, and the other president they didn't anything at all. Especially Obama, they didn't do nothing for the globalization, to how to protect people in their country. But Trump is he committed to support them. This is true, right? So so his support is currently he's supported about 48% around that. It's
Mm.
marginal, but we are not sure he is going
Not
to be
so bad.
elected again or not, right?
48%. 48% is not so bad. No, but what do you think that? Uh,
Oh, because his reason is American economy is so good and
mm.
unemployment rate is terribly good, awesome. So this caused them to get Trump will be elected again if current
Right.
situation will going on, 100% for sure. And also Democrats, they do not have good candidate yet, so far.
No.
So maybe Trump will go be re-elected, right? So we don't know the total score will going to be. At least globalization solution will not be settled anyway next 2 years if current situation going on. Problem is okay. Problem is okay. American factory workers' salary so high compared with China, compared with Mexico. No way. Immigration is overseas people coming to Japan, coming to United States. They are working more cheaper salary. We cannot avoid it.
Well, I mean, the idea is quite simple. So what they do, based on the idea that the United States has the strongest economy in the world, what they do is they first close all the borders, make sure that people can't get in, and then make sure that products can't get in anymore. That will force everybody who wants to do business in the United States to open factories within the United States. This in turn will create employment, and that is good for the workers of the United States. So it is really the idea is really quite simple, is to isolate the United States from the rest of the world, and depend on the fact that the United States has the strongest economy. So they will attract a lot of foreign direct investment because nobody can afford to lose the American consumer. That will create employment, of course. As a whole, the United States will pay a lot more for their products and services compared to buying them from overseas.
Okay, but what you said is one issue we need to consider. Cross border, okay, foreign overseas company try to make factory in the states, and but actually they don't hire people so much. And as you know, like Walmart, they don't need to hire people. In next 2 to 3 years later, they automated like Amazon Go type of business will prevailing in the
Right.
states. And truck drivers, 3 million people drivers will going to be will be unemployed. So it means even if overseas company coming to the states, but unemployment ratio is just it's a condition that as I said, given the condition of the current situation, it's the unemployment rate should be raising. But currently, amazing unemployment rate is so low. I don't know how come they try to hire people in the states, right?
Mm.
So this IT is also we need to consider. But close border and invite factory will not be solution. If just only the thinking about that, IT industry will going to release many workers in the market, labor market.
Yeah, especially in the States because labor is very expensive, so it's
Yeah,
worthwhile
yeah,
to invest in technology.
right. And Walmart, the demonstration hourly wages $8 to $12, but ridiculous. If they're going to, they don't need to. Mexican workers they can work at $8.
Mm.
So far we don't have a solution, especially for the not only globalization and concurrently IT revolution is ongoing. Furthermore, as you know, 5G revolution is 2 hour video download time is 3.6 seconds. It means 100 times faster than now. It means
Right.
we have lots of opportunity in near future, next 1 or 2 years. And auto drive is getting into the market. Next year is many Chinese companies is auto drive, into the bring into installing into the China market very soon to the States, very soon to Japan. So next 2 or 3 years, something happen in the labor market, right? But this is a
I'm
more
sure it
serious
depends.
situation we're going on.
Right.
So
I'm
nobody
not so
prepared.
convinced.
And going to read uh, METI's report, DX report. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Do you know?
I haven't read it, but digital transformation.
Oh, do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, really? They said a similar issue, right? 2025 cliff. This is their message. Actually, many Japanese companies going to actually did start to how to prevent this cliff.
Right. I'm sure that Japan will be a little bit late to the game, and that there will be a lot of talk about legislation to allow driverless cars in the streets of Tokyo because of safety concerns. But ultimately, they probably cannot stop this.
And actually, it's a problem with my observation is America is not so much conservative in labor market and capital market, but Japan is very conservative. So this is big. I'm very afraid of Japanese sort of phenomena will going to be happen. And the concept for past 30 years, Japanese companies' action is too too low and too slow compared with the
Mm.
American people. So America is Trump is saying a lot of issues, but you know, consider for the IT industry in California, many people are against Trump's issue. So their voice is not their voices are not going to be neglected. So
Right.
I believe America is they try to take action instead of closing border, instead of eliminating immigration. American people they have fair judgment rather than Japanese will do. How do you think?
Mm. I think there are a lot of people who are really pissed off. I mean, even if to believe that Trump would support you, I mean, I don't buy 1 second that he really believes that. He himself had factories in China uh, and made investments there. I think it's his personal gain that will drive him to be this kind of politician, just like actually Boris Johnson.
What?
Well,
X
I
what?
don't personal gain,
Yeah, yeah,
as
I
personal interest.
understand.
Yeah.
But this is, I think, Trump is risk message is for ZTE and Huawei, and if China going to take the same reaction against America, Apple will going to be bankrupt, right? They
They're going
cannot
to
make
close the borders.
iPhone
Yeah.
anymore.
Mm.
So they are doing a lot of issues, communication with China under the table. So they cannot strongly against Chinese product, Chinese technology, and also product. Of course, they can close the border. They just shut down everything else. But this is not the solution for the issue. They can hire the blue workers? No, they cannot. If they're going to cut every immigration from Central America, they cut everything product from China, but the blue workers, okay, employment will not increase. But I just again I told you this unemployment rate is so low, but how come they everybody hired now? So I think that
Mm.
they create new work in somewhere. So but I don't know. IT revolution will going on, and 3 million truck driver will going to be unemployed. Then who? He said, okay, we're going to uh, develop uh, road infrastructure construction or some sort of low skilled workers. They, he tried to give them job, but this is maybe that going to give them for next 2 years. And as you know, American highway is no maintenance in the past 40 years.
Mm.
This is true. Bridge
Yeah,
and the road
yeah.
and social infrastructure is so weak, and also the uh, 5Gs, I think they need more software engineers, programmers, and million people they need. But blue worker people cannot do that. They cannot change their business
No.
from blue no-skilled worker to the skilled worker. It's very difficult. Younger people can. So senior member is just you mentioned global basic income. Okay, we're going to give the universal basic income. That might be appropriate. Unemployed people, like your country, Dutch government did like that. You did the 2,000 people. They gave them unemployed people their basic income for them for limited time or 2 years, 3 years, whatsoever, right?
Right. I think that the idea of the universal base income is actually not only give people a base income who are unemployed, but also people who are employed. Um, so basically, guarantee that even if your salary is like $800 and the universal base income, you will get an additional $200 to supplement your income. For example, if you want to work part-time, for example, if you want to invest time in retraining yourself to be better equipped to work with information technology, that should help people to go through the transition between the old economy and the new economy, because that is also, of course, what's happening rapidly, like the transition that's now coming, that truck drivers will lose their job. It will take time and training before they can,
Exactly,
can,
exactly. It's
can deal with
timing.
that.
It's IT revolution is so moving quickly.
Right.
Okay, so moving quickly. Next 2 to 3 years, suddenly they happen, right? But you just said give them technology training and something training, but it takes time.
Right.
They cannot catch up with it. So government should need to take action, right?
Right. But yeah, governments have a difficult time, have a harder time to do that because they need tax revenues, and the tax base is becoming smaller and smaller because actually the rich need incentives to stay within, let's say, the United States. If not, they will gladly move their headquarters overseas, open some kind of a mailbox company in a on an island with an attractive tax climate, and all of a sudden, all their income is flown out of the United States into the Bahamas, for example,
Mhm.
and you completely lose your tax base, which is disastrous for the revenues of these companies. So what we see is that the big industries have had to pay much lower tax rates than the
Mhm.
average American, which is also problematic. Which also means that, yeah, I mean, uh, we are being deceived by a small group of the elite who are telling us that globalization is good, but they're not paying the same level of taxes as I'm paying. So the small guy needs to pay all the taxes, and the big guys they can stay clear of this. This is absolutely unfair. Um, and taxes are very, very much needed if we want to deal with these challenges of globalization. So this is really a big issue. We will not be able to afford it if we can't get our tax money, our tax revenues, in a fair and straightforward way.
Tax issues is solvable, right? They can change the law and they can issue the policy. Is it?
It's not that easy though, because the companies are very difficult to attract. The only thing that you could do is that you could go, instead of going to the customer, to the producer, you could try to tax to buy.
No, they can change tax law.
Yeah, but
Like for example, Amazon they don't pay tax in Japan, but Japanese government they need to change tax law. Okay, they are doing business here, even if they don't have headquarters in Tokyo in Japan, and they just going to be chargeable. Problem is
right,
okay. Problem is okay. Real problem is okay. Universal basic income budget. Okay, we need to consider for that, but also we need to consider the unemployed workers will increasing next 2 to 3 years. Hundred people or million people. How are they going to handle it? Japan, okay, America is that kind of issue, but Japan is also the other issue we have, aging people, right? Japan is unemployment people by IT, by globalization, but also aging people increasing. Aging people is the country government. Mr. Aso said they need to 20 million yen for their remaining lifetime spending. Actually, caused lots of discussion, but they don't get
right.
kind of money, in future. How they're going to survive? This is the other Japanese big issue, not
Yeah.
America. Japan will have
Mm.
sort of issues is we're going to have. This is not the globalization, aging society.
Aging society, technology, tax system, it is all interrelated.
Exactly. So who's going to solve these issues? This is what we want to discuss, next Saturday,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's going to be a huge challenge because you need
So
so
just
many things need to
we
work
need to
together.
consider. Okay, we a lot of people releasing from current industry and automation and globalization, and those people. How we're going to handle for those people?
Mm.
This is the issue. Not small number, big number. 10 million or 20 million, 30 million in the States, right?
Mm.
And supermarket, they're not going to employ any person after 3 years later, like Amazon, right?
Maybe some hospitality staff to welcome people into the shop, and when they leave the shop, uh, that's it. Just as a not really as a staff, but just as a hosts of the shop. So if you have questions or you wanna have a talk, then maybe we will still see that there is at least some person there. Um, but yeah, a lot of people will be cut off.
Like in Japan is Vietnamese, a lot of Vietnamese cheap workers here in Japan. Even Japanese government limited the people coming in, but actually lots of people coming in, right? With America is the same. Lots of Central America people coming in the States, and they cannot speak English, but they don't any problem because the southern part of America is they can speak Spanish. So lots of people coming in from now on, even if they're going to make a limit of the immigration, they don't care. Their intention is very strong, right?
Right. Yeah, their intention is very strong. They There are a lot of problems at the border with the United States with the immigrants, and people die because they're trying to get into the United States anyway, and they
Yeah,
fail
that's right.
and get killed.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
read news. Yes.